Hello Tycooners and Wicked fans. In this video, I'm going to give you the complete analysis of the Defying Gravity roller coaster. We're going to talk about every single part of the ride. It's going to be a long video, so you might want to get comfortable. But I'm going to talk you through every single decision I made. I'm going to talk you through all the different Easter eggs and little things that I put in the video to kind of signify different parts of the song. So we're going to do it. We're going to talk about the video. Let's get into it right now. The coasters start out of the station very slowly, and Glinda begins to say her first line. The coasters will go one at a time, first with Glinda, then Elphaba. And the 90-degree turns are very intentional. They're meant to be really quick and snappy, from right to left and left to right, to align with the staccato hits from the song. So we'll start with the camera as it zooms in on Glinda. We'll follow her around the turns and then up the hill. She'll hit a brake run, and at that time we will kind of snap back to Elphaba, who is beginning to say her lines. We'll follow her vertical loop here. Then she'll go up the hill. And then both coasters will come together and they'll begin to sing in unison. So the coasters are in unison right there, just like in the song. And these barrel rolls next are very intentional as well. They signify the vibrato in both Elphaba's voice and Glinda's voice as they sing, "Though I Can't Imagine How." On the word "how" is right when the barrel roll occurs. And I chose this specific track element because in my mind it kind of felt like it's kind of like a fluttering type of element as it spins around. It just seemed to fit with the way that they said the word "how." And I definitely spent a lot of time figuring out what element, like, is it a vertical loop that I should put here? Should I make it, do a helix, a corkscrew? And then I ended up settling with barrel roll. And both roller coasters come to a stop right as the drum roll finishes in the song. I made sure to time that out specifically so that they slowed down at that exact time. Then these coasters, still in sync, say "right now" together. And then we'll continue slowly as the first title card appears. TubeCody presents. Now I want to quickly remind you to just pay attention throughout the duration of this video. Every time the roller coasters are in sync versus when they're not in sync, it's very intentional. I spent, a long time on this. So it's very intentional. So I'll do my best to call those out. So the coasters are going together here. And then we're going to zoom in on Glinda. She's going to hit a little boost, and she's going to start off by herself. Singing her part about her hope for Elphaba, that she could see the wizard, she could live the dream that she's wanted. In fact, right here, you could have all you've ever wanted. She's going to hit a brake run. We're going to go back to Elphaba. Now, what I wanted to do here, you'll notice that Glinda's part was very elegant and majestic. She's got that loop. She kind of loops around a couple times. It's very, kind of fluttery as well. That's kind of what my mind envisioned there. But when it goes back to Elphaba, she's going to catch up to Glinda, right? Because here in a minute, you're going to see that they're in sync again. But this turn right here, I wanted it to be very shallow and wide and slow. So and it also matches her, the way she's singing this part. So she says, Glinda's saying, "You could have all you've ever wanted." But Elphaba says, I can't want this. I don't want this. And so she's going to slowly come down this hill. Completely different method of getting down here from Glinda. Remember, Glinda was big and majestic as she's looping around, and then Elphaba just slowly makes this really shallow turn. And then you'll see the next and last title card where it says Defying Gravity, Synchronized Rollercoasters. That's going to fade away. And then we're going to now follow Elphaba. She's going to take off, and Glinda is actually going to go underground. And that was not necessarily for a reason other than just I wanted her coaster to be hidden, and she'll pop up later. But A couple other things I wanted to call out. You'll see a little bit earlier in the video, we've got the tulip fields. The tulip fields, which you can see in the first scene of the movie in Munchkin Land. I wanted to have tulip fields throughout this video in different spots. And you should also spot the yellow brick road. Right underneath the coasters. You'll see the yellow brick road a couple different times in this video, but I did want to make sure I included that. So we're now going to follow Elphaba. She's going to hit a little boost. Again, Glinda goes underground here. This is kind of her first big monologue, and she's going by herself here. You'll notice here there are some yellow flowers, and I wanted to tie in as much yellow as I could in a way that would look nice, because if you are familiar with the Wicked musical, Glinda is largely in a yellow dress throughout the whole musical. So she wears pink in the movie, but the traditional Glinda character wears a lot of yellow, and so I wanted there to be some yellow to kind of tie back to her original outfit in the musical. So as we continue on with Elphaba's monologue, she's going little helix here, and then when she comes up here, this was a specific choice of track element. It's another barrel roll. It actually might be it's either inline twist or a barrel roll. I can't remember which one it is, but it is supposed to mimic when she says, "I'm done playing by the rules of." She kind of flutters her voice again. There's some vibrato, so I wanted that to kind of be made visible here in the roller coaster. And then as she kind of comes down, there's a line in the song where she says, "Too late for second guessing." That is right here where Elphaba, there's a helix here, very short helix, but right when she says second guessing, you'll see here, she turns around because she is kind of in that nebulous stage of maybe second guessing, maybe not second guessing. And she turns around to second guess this decision, but then she ends up coming back around and continuing. So it's like she does kind of want to second guess herself, but she really doesn't. It's too late for that. She's already gone this far, and they're in this room, and they put the broom there, and they've locked themselves in, so it really is too late. So then she finishes the helix and ends up continuing on. And there were quite a few people that called this out in the comments, so I'm actually glad that so many people noticed it. Right here, she says, "Close my eyes." Well, she goes into a building, and that was actually, I got to give credit to my wife, that was her idea, to have her go into a building when she says, "Close my eyes," because it's dark in that building, and you can't see. If you were on the roller coaster, you wouldn't be able to see anything, so that is that's a symbol of her closing her eyes. And then she's going to leap. And so then we have our very fast launch up. And of course, she defies gravity. The track becomes invisible. And this is something that I do throughout each chorus, where she becomes invisible when she's saying the words "defying gravity." I have to give my wife credit again. This was her idea. And I actually kind of fought her on it. I was like, I don't know if that's going to translate well on the, when I'm editing it and once it's out. I just don't know that that's gonna, people might think it's silly or it might be weird. Well, I'm so glad I listened to her and I did it, because there were so many, hundreds of comments about the Elphaba coaster track being invisible, her actually flying through the sky. And, that was like really meaningful to a lot of people. There were quite a bit of comments that were people that were like, "Man, this was so emotional and great." And there were also a lot of people that said that they like burst out laughing when they saw her going off the track and it was like invisible. So I'm either way, I'm happy with both of those reactions. But it was my wife's idea. So throughout each chorus, you will see her partially going off the tracks and in a way defying gravity, actually defying gravity in the roller coaster. So next, the end of the chorus, she will say, "You can't bring me down." And that is a vertical drop, basically. She goes straight down and right into a break, basically. So it's, "You can't bring me down" is like right in that moment. She slows down. And then we have Glinda popping up. And this is when she says, "Can't I make you understand?" And what I wanted Glinda to do right here is kind of be like dancing around Elphaba. So Elphaba's made her decision, and she's just trucking on forward pretty slow right here. She hit that brake, right? But Glinda is still trying to convince her to come back to the wizard, and have the life you've always wanted. Don't do this. Don't go this direction. So she's kind of dancing, majestically dancing around the Elphaba coaster for just a minute while she says her line. And then Elphaba is going to go up this hill. But before that, there is a little Easter egg here. The word Oz is spelled out in these plants right here. I'm sure that was noticeable by most of you, but if you missed it, there is the word Oz, little Easter egg there. And then I want you to pay attention here to the track directions here. You're going to see Elphaba and Glinda passing each other. Elphaba's going one way, Glinda's going the other way. They're literally going in the opposite direction. And what I wanted to kind of signify here is Glinda's kind of made her last plea, her last attempt to convince Elphaba to come back and don't do this. But Elphaba is saying no. Glinda's tried again and again, and Elphaba has said no again and again. So they are at this point going in the opposite direction. Glinda wants her to stay and come back and not do this, and she's going one direction. Elphaba is saying no, and it's literally the complete opposite direction. So they pass each other, and that's very intentional. And then this part I was really excited about. The second time that Elphaba goes into Defying Gravity, so it's the second chorus in the song. You can't always see it here on screen, but Glinda is following Elphaba from a distance. She is still, even though, right, so they just had their cross, they crossed, go in the opposite direction. Glinda's still, she loves her friend. She's still supportive of Elphaba. So she is following along from a distance, kind of looking up at Elphaba as she goes into the second chorus. And Elphaba goes quite a bit higher, and you can't always see Glinda, but she is following Elphaba from a distance, low on the ground, a little bit slower, and she is staying with her friend, and she's supportive of her friend. I also want to call this out, not sure if you noticed this, the second chorus, the second time that Elphaba is singing the Defying Gravity chorus, she is higher in the air than the first one. So first chorus, she goes high. This second chorus, she is much higher in the air. And I'll just go ahead and spoil it. In the third chorus, she goes way higher. So each chorus, she gets higher and higher as she gets personally herself like more confident in what she's about to do. Right? So the first, if you remember from the movie, she's kind of standing still when she sings the first chorus. She's walking forwards slowly, looking out through the broken glass when she's singing the second chorus, and then she's like on the broom, running away from the flying monkeys in the third chorus. So each one gets bigger and fuller and taller. So that's the reason for that. And again, you can see the tulips here on the ground underneath Elphaba. Once again, kind of calling back to Munchkinland and the beautiful tulips that are all over that place. And then here at the end, you'll see when she says, "Pull me down." I really wanted this to be like, how can I get her to the ground as quickly as possible? So I made this kind of curved down hill, which is kind of like a slingshot because she's saying pull me down, and that was a different way to say that, so I wanted it to be like she gets pulled down very quickly. So that's where that happens, and then all of a sudden she's going really slow, and we're kind of getting into kind of like the bridge of the song. And this is probably one of my favorite parts in the whole video. This is when they come together. So she hits the ground, and you don't know it yet until I switch camera angles, but then you see Glinda coming towards Elphaba, and they are going to turn at the exact same time together. So right here, this was a really, really meaningful part in the song because Glinda is coming back. She is coming back to meet her friend. She is saying, I'm going with you. I may not be where you're at, and we'll see that in a minute, but I'm coming with you. And you'll see that they're going to take this next part together. And Elphaba is right there singing. Glinda is right there following along her friend. And coming up to the part where Glinda is going to sing a little bit in this part, you'll see that Elphaba sings first. She says, "Dreams the way we've planned them." And she's kind of up in the air while Glinda's on the ground. And then they're going to switch. Elphaba comes down, and then Glinda says, "If we work in tandem." She's going to be up. So I kind of had each coaster kind of go up a hill whenever they were singing their lines. And then they start to sing in unison as they go up this next hill. And then we get into the next Defying Gravity chorus. You'll see here Elphaba is defying gravity. Glinda is not, but they're still in unison in terms of like where the track is going. So this part was, I wanted this to be very intentional. Glinda is not getting on the broom. She's not doing the levitation spell, right? She's not going to be following that far, but she's still following her friend, like in her heart, and you know, in supporting her friend. So she's right there with her, but Elphaba is just on another level. She's the actual one that's going to be defying gravity, getting on the broom and flying, using magic, and Elphaba's not. So that's why she's got her track underneath her, and Elphaba doesn't. Then we're going to slow down. And then I don't know if anyone noticed this. I definitely heard a few people write this in the comments. I saw a few different comments about this, but there's the Rollercoaster Tycoon message beep. There's actually two of them here. I didn't intend for that to be in the video, but they were there, and I thought I'd just leave them because it's kind of funny. And this part here, next, which honestly, I was really moved at how many people got emotional here. And so Elphaba, let me back up. They're a few feet apart, and they're still in unison here. Elphaba moves toward Glinda right when she says, "Are you coming?" So she's still not sure that Glinda's not coming. She's like, "Are you coming?" She moves towards Glinda. And then I put a fence here. That fence is to signify that they're on different paths. They're going to be going in different directions. So Elphaba comes towards her. "Are you coming with me?" And then Glinda can't. She can't bring herself to do it. So she moves away from Elphaba. She moves away a little bit, and then she moves a little bit more away, and then she moves even further away. And then she begins to sing, "I hope you're happy." And then Elphaba's going to take off. She's going to get kind of... It's almost like now Elphaba is kind of dancing a little bit as Glinda is saying, like, I hope you're happy now that you're choosing this. The coasters are going to be, again, in unison here. "I really hope you get it and don't live to regret it." Then they're going to drop down. And this part here, I had them go up and into this kind of, it's like a barrel roll. No, it's a 0G roll. I think I did a 0G roll, but it was to be more, it's to be kind of fluttery, like I said before, like, "I hope you're happy in the end." You know, they're fluttering and it's majestic. And so I wanted that to be felt while you're watching the roller coaster. I wanted that to match kind of the tone of the song and kind of how they're singing it. And then the guards. Here are the guards. Let's talk about the guards. So I knew from the very beginning that I wanted to have guards pop up and chase Elphaba. So I knew I had to have those come in somewhere. So this is the part that happened. So I hope you're happy, my friend. They start to go down, and then you can kind of tell that something's about to happen. You can see these 4 tracks sticking out of the ground. And then the guards, right when the door bursts open, you're going to see 4 yellow roller coasters popping out and chasing Glinda. Because if you remember, they go up towards her. They grab Glinda first. And then Elphaba kind of says, wait, no, don't touch her. I'm the one that you want. And so you're going to see Elphaba start to go faster and pass Glinda and kind of get in front of her. The idea was she kind of blocks off Glinda and kind of distracts the guards and makes the guards start chasing her. They're going to start to they kind of all get it's kind of spaghetti there for a second. They all kind of get intertwined, and then Elphaba starts to go up really high and really fast, and the guards can't keep up. You're going to see the guards fall out of frame. They're trying to chase her, but they can't keep up. So then you get the big bridge, and this part here, I wanted it to be like just big and beautiful and majestic. So I've got cliffs and mountains, and there's like trees everywhere. I just want it to be like a big, heavy-hitting part of the song. And also, I had a few people that called out the direction west. And whenever, like, when she says the western sky, she's going west. And then at the end of the video, people were like, oh my goodness, she finishes going west. That's beautiful. There are no directions in Rollercoaster Tycoon. There's not a... There's no way to know what direction it is. I guess you could make the argument that it looks like it's going west because of the angle, but that was not an intentional choice that I made, because there are no directions in the game. So, but I appreciate people thinking that that was a choice that I made. That was very funny, but that was unintentional. And then this part here, one of my favorite parts, as someone told me lately, what was cool is I didn't even really have to do much editing to this. It was so in sync already. And I guess by that comment, you're probably thinking, oh my goodness, was this not actually a synchronized roller coaster? And the answer to that is, it is, in terms of like, it's relatively close to the song. I did do a little bit of editing and post-production to like kind of highlight some of the synchronizations, but if you want to see like unedited footage, I've got a video on my Patreon. So go to my Patreon. It's a free, you don't have to pay to watch it. Go and click into it. You can watch the entire roller coaster unedited. You can see how it syncs up, and it does start and end at the same time, and everything is very, very in sync. I just wanted to do a little bit of fine tuning, but this part here, as someone told me lately, everyone deserves the chance. So everyone deserves the chance to fly. That part was my favorite part, because she kind of goes up the hill and straight, and then up the hill and straight, and it like just hits those notes. It's like so perfect. And then when she says fly, she kind of flutters again and starts to kind of do some more kind of majestic track elements right there. And so that part was one of my favorite parts. And then here we go. Right before that, this last big Defying Gravity chorus, you're going to see her go all the way to the ground. She says, to those who ground me. And right then, we go all the way to the ground. Take a message back from me. Here we go. Up, big, fast hill. Taller, faster than any other course before. Once again, she's defying gravity. Literally, she is invisible track, right? She is flying. So I wanted this to be like big and just big and bold. Then she's going to slow down here for this kind of big instrumental part. You're going to see the yellow brick road again. And there's kind of a forest behind the road. And then, of course, you can see the word unlimited written here in the park with flowers. That was one of my favorite things to actually put in there, is the word unlimited. She's going to slow down right here. So, and then we continue here. You're going to see it's real slow, like she can just barely get over this hill. And it's because she's like, I mean, she's out of breath. She's got to be exhausted here, just like emotionally exhausted. So she's just, in my mind, she's like just barely getting this out. So that's why this part's a little bit slower. You know, when she says nobody in all of Oz, she's like kind of, it's like grungy and breathy, and it's like she's just letting all of it out there. This is like she's getting every last bit of it out. And then here in a minute, you're going to see Glinda pop up. I wanted her to be, again, she's following Elphaba throughout this whole part, right? So right when she finishes her kind of line, you're going to see, I start to zoom out. The camera kind of zooms out slowly. She's still there, right? She says, I hope you're happy. She's still there with her friend, going in the same direction, not on the same path. So the coasters are not in sync really at any way right at this, really the second half of the video. Elphaba's on her own path, Glinda's on her own path, but they are still together. So that's why Glinda is following Elphaba still. And she's seeing to that her friend gets to the end safely. And then this part here, the guards are returning. they're following Elphaba now. They're saying, kill her, get her, she's wicked. But they can't keep up. Elphaba outruns them again. And then we have her super awesome run, which I made the track kind of mimic that. You'll see this is like the big ending. Elphaba's holding her note out. The guards are singing their kind of their chord. They're like singing that note. And then you're going to see the camera zoom out slowly to see Glinda, who's once again following her friend still, just a little bit behind her. Yellow Brick Road makes another appearance here. And here's the big finale. The word wicked is shown here as Elphaba and Glinda complete the roller coaster together. And the very end of this roller coaster is quiet. It's kind of a somber ending. Like, it's exciting that she's taking this path and she's going in this direction, but it is kind of somber. You know, Glinda's losing a friend in a way, and they're not following the same path. So it's like, it's kind of bittersweet. So I wanted there to be like no guests, no chatter, no noises of any kind. It's very thoughtful, inward looking, and quiet as both coasters just kind of slowly go into the station, and then the video fades to black. And that's the a complete analysis of the Defying Gravity roller coaster. I'm sure I missed some things, but I'm glad I was able to kind of talk through it and show you all the different kind of Easter eggs and all the different things that I wanted to kind of sprinkle in to make this as good of a video as I could. So thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this, please click the subscribe button if you're not subscribed, but also the like button, and maybe leave a comment and let me know what was your favorite part. Type in the comments below and say, oh, I love this part, or this part was cool. So I would love to know like what your favorite part of this video was. And if you're still here and you want to watch another video from me, click over right here in this corner and watch this video next. It's Roller Coaster Tycoon themed, and I really think you personally are going to love it. So click and watch that video next, and I'll see you another time. Bye.